In this tutorial for Team Yankee, I'm going to talk about where do you measure for range on the models. I'm going to look at them each separately. So we have infantry team, tank teams, and aircraft teams. So let's start with infantry teams. And this is the team that's being shot at by another infantry team. So where do you measure? Well, you go from closest of their base, so this whole thing here is their base, to the closest part of their base of the target. So if it's like this, you're going to measure from the front here to the front there. And let's say they have an 8-inch range. It's within range. So if this was a situation, we'd measure from here to there. If this situation, from here to there, so forth. So just measure from the part of the base that's closest to the target, or vice versa. You know, this is the target here, and so forth. So that's how you measure for range on infantry. Now, as far as measuring go for tank teams, it's very similar. So we're going to, like this T-72 is trying to shoot at this Abrams. Where do you measure from? Just like the infantry teams had this stand, this base you measure to and from, we're going to take the turrets off here, and this is what you'd measure to and from. From the hole closest to the target to the closest part of their hull. That's where you'd measure. If they're trying to shoot infantry, you would do the same thing, from the hull to their part of their base that's closest to it. So that's pretty simple. Don't worry about the gun, where it's at and stuff like that. Don't worry about their gun. You're looking at the hull of the vehicle. Now, aircraft is a little different, but not much different. So we have helicopters and we have strike aircraft. So where do we measure from these? Or to these if they are to target. So I'm going to go with the helicopters first. So we got some AA wanting to shoot at this helicopter. Is it going to be in range? Where do we measure from this to the helicopter? Well, of course, we're just going to take that off and pretend like it's not there, because we're going to measure from the hull up. And on an aircraft, you look at what's called the fuselage, or the body. So we don't care about wings, weapons, the rotor, this tail back here. It's what's called the fuselage. This is what we would measure to. So the closest part of that fuselage. So if the tail, this part of the fuselage, is closest to it, that's where we'd measure to. We don't care about the rotors, just like we took the turrets off to show that we don't care about the turrets on these. We don't care about the rotors and weapons. Now, this strike aircraft, let's say it wants to shoot this one, it's the same thing. Now, I can't take the wings off and stuff, but it's just this fuselage part right here. So we're not worried about wings, weapons, the tail part here. We're worried about this fuselage part. We're going to measure to and from to see if it's in range of our weapon.